We're now going to look at one of our most popular reports, which is a report which specifically shows progress over time for each of your individual children and shows whether it's above, below, or at age-related expectations. So under pupil-child reports, we've got report P4, which is child progress over time, which I'm going to select now. And as with other reports, you've got various options along the top. So at the moment, it's showing me a start year, a start term, an end year, and an end term. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the start of the last academic year. So I'm going to go back to 2017-18, autumn 1, and I'm going to compare that 2018-19, autumn 1. So essentially, I'm going to run a report which looks at the progress my cohort has made in that 12-month period. Click Run Report. When I scroll down here, I can see the analysis for the cohort based on their Autumn 1 assessment and their in 17-18 and their Autumn 1 assessment in 18-19. What this report does, because it's really important, we're looking at progress in terms of the age of the child, it's showing their age in months at the start point and at the end point. So for Amir, for example, it's showing me that at the first assessment he was 37 months, and at the last assessment he was 49 months. And then it's showing me the assessments that we made in the results section of the tracker for each of these aspects. So I've got making relationships here, for example. So we can see that for Amir, we assessed him at 30 to 50 at the start, but low, and at the end he was 30 to 50, but high. Caprice, it's showing that she's gone from 22 to 36, high, and then by the end of the period she was at 40 to 60, low. What this report does is shows you with colour coding on the font whether the assessment that was made was at, above, or below age-related expectations. So for Caprice, for example, we can see that first assessment was 22 to 36 months. That's shown in red text because at that point they were 39 months old. So we only assessed them at 22 to 36 months, so that means that she was a little bit behind where you would expect a 39-month-old child to be, and therefore that's highlighted in red. By the end, however, we assessed her at being in the 40 to 60 age band, and at that point she was 51 months old. Because 51 months old is within this 40 to 60 month band, that means she's at age-related expectations. So 40 to 60 months is where you might expect a 51-month-old child to be. So that is at age-related expectations. So we've effectively gone from below age-related expectations to at age-related expectation. And these arrows will show whether the system has calculated that to be at, above, or below expected levels of progress. And you can refer to this key up here to show you how that's calculated. So at the start, Caprice was below, and at the end, she was at. So that means she's gone from below to at, and that's a green up arrow, which means they're making above expected progress. And the way this report was developed was very much in line with the Ofsted subsidiary guidance, which talked about how you would calculate whether you are making rapid progress or good progress or not. And it's very much looking around age-related expectations. If I look at a different example, down here, for example, I've got Robert, who for SCSA was at age-related expectations at the start, but below age-related expectations at the end. So their assessment was the same start and end. At the start, they were at age-related expectation because they were only 42 months old. By the end, they hadn't made any progress, yet they were 54 months old. So now that's below age-related expectation. So going from at the start to below at the end, we've shown the red arrow here, which is below expected progress, and that's why that red arrow is appearing there. What we found when we've worked with schools and settings on this report is that sometimes people will know more information about a child that's not obvious from the data. So what we've done is we've added in this practitioner judgements column. So if you were having a conversation with Ofsted, you might say, well, actually, Robert, yes, he didn't make expected progress on the face of it, but actually we've got some more context about Robert's personal situation that provides more information. So what we recommend that you do is export this information into Excel, and then if you've got judgments that differ from the judgments that the system's created, then you can add those into your own version of this report and provide a richer level of information, as I say, if you're, for example, communicating that with Ofsted. As with other reports, you can filter it by all these different characteristics. So all the information you've put into the children's section of the tracker, you can use to filter these reports if you want to. And one final point to make about this report is that this is the pupil level version of it, but we have a similar report that aggregates that information up overall for your setting or for a particular group in your setting, and that'll be the subject of a different training video.